Okay, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a very simple and basic tutorial on how to make checker pieces. Later on, I'll have another video on how to make if you want to go about making chess pieces and the different types of chess pieces you can go about doing. That will cost you a little extra, but simple checker pieces, like I'm going to show you, are included in your lab cost fees and things like that. It's fairly basic, and I'm just going to take you through one method. There's various methods and ways that you could design these type of pieces. I'm just going to show you one simple one, and I think it's pretty easy to have a design on one side, so you can get, if like you get kinged, you can flip it over to the design side, maybe things like that. It's just one method that's been used from students and things in the past, and I thought it was a pretty neat and interesting idea. So I just want to show you guys how to do this, and you can modify it from there. But first thing you're going to do is you need to come up with some thumbnail sketches, get an idea of how you want to design these first, and then you're going to start designing in Inventor. Okay, so Autodesk Inventor, you can go ahead and open that up, and we're just going to create a new standard IPT. Create that. Again, if Inventor's brand new for you, it shouldn't be. Obviously used in Plastics 1, but you might want to watch some of the refresher videos that I have on the Plastics 2 website that you can take a look at, the course site there, and to help you kind of get refreshed if you forget from even the lesson in class and things. But we're going to create a new part file, and you're going to create a 2D sketch, and I like to create the sketch from this particular plane here. It's the top plane here. I think it's the XZ plane, and I'm just going to select that, and I'm going to click on the circle tool and click on the center there at the origin, and I'm going to create a circle. And if you remember from making the actual pieces themselves, the checker pieces the squares that get laid out on your board, they are 15/16. So these pieces cannot be any larger than, I would say, about 3/4 of an inch, maybe 7/8 you could go. But a lot of students, I think, like that 3/4 inch range, so the piece doesn't take up the whole square. And some students even try to make something even a little smaller, like 5/8 and things like that. It's up to you. I do have examples that you can take a look at, and we can scale it accordingly by the time we print. But initially, I'm going to go ahead and make this 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to type in 0.75, or you can type in 3/4. It really doesn't matter. It's going to make that diameter at 0.75 or 3/4 of an inch. All right. From there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the sketch, and I'm going to click on extrude, and I'm going to extrude this up 1/4 of an inch. 1/4. Then I'm going to create another sketch on the top, and I'm going to make this one, we'll say 0.65. See what that looks like. I think that's fine. And I'm also going to make one on the bottom, but I'll finish this first. Extrude, and I'm just going to go back. I'm going to cut into that. Yeah, 1/16 of an inch. Click OK. I'm going to do the same thing on the back side. Create a new sketch, put it on the back, or on the bottom in this case. And same size circle, 0.65. What I'll do, same thing, I'll extrude that, cut back into it, 1/16 of an inch. Check that, and you can see how I have kind of dimples in there on both sides, and that's really what I'm looking for there. Alright, so what I'm going to do next is I'm basically going to put a graphic in here and then extrude that graphic and start making this piece really my custom checker piece. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new 2D sketch on one of the faces here, and I'm working with the top right now. So I look at the navigation cube there, and I'm going to go to Image, and I'm going to locate where I have my image saved. Again, something I just took off the internet. It's a Penn State logo. Open that up. I'm going to place it in there. press escape. You are going to have to scale it down more than likely because you're working with such a small piece. And so the design, I'm just going to move it in, just zooming in and out with the scroll bar on the mouse. I'm just going to place that where I want it. So let's say that's the image I'm going to put onto the piece itself. Alright, so let's go through. I'll show you how to go about and basically draw around this, called using the spline tool. So here's your spline tool. So I'm going to select my spline tool. I'm going to zoom in as I'm doing this. And working with the spline tool, all you're going to do is you're going to basically trace, and I'm just left clicking as I'm going through. And I'm following the contour of the design, and I'm just clicking. And sometimes it just makes it easy as you're going through to zoom in a little bit as you're going through your design. This is a little time consuming. It's probably one of the more time consuming aspects of making the actual game piece. And I'm just panning as I do this as well. So I center or click that center mouse button on the wheel, and I just pan with that, and I'm just going through making several points as I go through this. And again, you're going to want to take your time. I'm kind of going through fairly quickly. I suggest when you get to your end point, make sure that these two intersect. If they don't intersect, you're going to have a lot of issues. So make sure your starting point and end point always intersect. So right now I have the outside, and I'm going to go through and do the inside as well, and then I'll show you how to extrude this. So I'm just going to pause the video and get that done, and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so what I did was I traced all the way around there using the spline tool. I'm not going to get the trademark logo. Don't worry about that. It's too small anyway. It's not going to 3D print. So what you're going to do is once that's completed, you're going to finish the sketch. We're going to click on extrude, and I'm going to extrude this the same distance that I depressed that or cut that in, which was a 1/16 of an inch. You can make it a little less if you want to. You can make it a 32nd if you want to. Just do not make it larger. You don't want it to extrude beyond the wall height, like for the entire piece. So I'm just going to keep it at the 1/16 to keep it simple. I'm going to click the inside there and also hold shift and click the inside of the ear. Click OK, and I'm just going to orbit that around so you can see how that looks. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So we'll say this is probably going to be my king side. We'll say a couple other things I want to do here is I am going to go about putting a fillet on this, and fillet's just a round over, and I can round over the edges if I want, and it's currently at 0.125. That might be a little bit too much. 0.0125. Alright, just a slight little radius. I could do that on the inside just to give it a cleaner look so it doesn't have those 90-degree edges. The inside here, it actually worked around the Penn State there. Okay, the outside, I don't think it's going to work on the inside. Nope, I probably have an error message there. You can see the error popped up. Alright, so I will uncheck that and just go back through. Alright, so I can put that on most of the outside edges, give those a cleaner appearance. I can check that off, and if I wanted to try to give it just a smaller radius maybe on the inside, I could use the fillet tool and maybe make it 0.001. When you start getting that small though, the 3D printer is really not going to be able to pick up some of that, and I'm still getting an error message on that, so it's just too small. So I just leave that square there, and you're going to get something that looks like that with this particular design, which is fine. On the back side of the piece, I'll do the same thing. I'm going to put a fillet on the back side, and I'll just make it that 0.0125. I believe we had it. Select those edges, apply that, and the last thing I'm going to do, if this is my starting side, I could leave it plain, but what I think I'm going to do, just to make it a little bit nicer, I'm going to put a new sketch on that face there, and what I'll do is I'm just going to put PSU on there. Okay, so I'm going to use a text tool, and I just want to make sure. Alright, I'm going to run my text right across there. We'll do all cap PSU. And let's make these 0.2, see if that works. And we'll bold it. Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay. And we're just going to move that. Alright, so I'm going to slide that over. Good. So let's say this is going to be the one side of the piece. And I can even rotate that. And I'll click done. That way it matches the line on the other side. I wanted to make sure it did that. The graphic on the other side. So it's the same direction. Alright, now with this, fairly easy, just another tool. Again, I use the text tool, I use the move tool and things like right there. In the move, you can actually just grab it and click it. There is a rotate tool where you can go through and click certain things and rotate it around. Again, it takes a little bit of time to play around with Inventor as you're going through. But to actually, with text, it's pretty easy to emboss or engrave or depress items. With this one, I mean, all you're going to do is you could finish the sketch here, and I'm going to go to emboss, and I'm going to select the text. And here's your different options here. You can engrave, you can raise it. So if I wanted to raise it, like we did on the opposite side with the lion, I can engrave it. If I want to emboss it this time around, though, like I wanted to press it a little bit, I can select that, and I'll just make this. Yeah, 0.1 sounds fine. Or I mean, just to keep it consistent, I guess we could keep it at a 16th. And I want to select the profile that I want to do that to. We click OK. And you can see, actually, a 16th looks pretty deep. It's not coming through the other side. We want to make sure of that. So I could make that even a little less. I could just double click back on the emboss. Maybe make that a 32nd. It's not as deep. Looks a little cleaner. And just like that, you have a simple game piece. Okay. If you're planning on coloring these, which is definitely something you could do, you could spray paint them and things like that to get them a particular color. Just give you an idea of what it would look like in a certain color. You could change that. I could even change the size if I wanted to right now. If you remember when we first made these, we made it a 1/4 inch high. I could go back into sketch 1, our original sketch. I think we extruded that a 1/4. Let's say I'm looking at it now and I'm like, you know what, a 1/4 might be too large. What if I made this 3/16? Okay, so I could take a look at what 3/16 looks like, and that looks really sharp. Okay, I think that thinner piece would work pretty well. And you want to save this, okay? Make sure you save this into your student drive. You're going to save it as an Inventor part file. Just go to save it as an Inventor, an IPT, and then when you're ready to print, all right, when you're ready for your instructor to print your piece, what you have to do to print is if you go to the application icon, next to save as, there's that little arrow. You click on that and you go to save copy as. The 3D printer prints only STL files, so you need to indicate that under save as type as an STL file, and you could just save this as, you know, a checker piece, Masano, you know, however you want to save that. Make sure you put your last name on there so the instructor knows. So final checker piece, you know, last name, and you could save it, and then the instructor can pull that from your student drive then when you're ready and 3D print your pieces that you need. Again, remember, if you're going to do chess pieces, it will be a little bit extra in cost. Okay. Again, if you have any questions, let the instructor know or just ask a classmate, and good luck.